If you've ever felt the desire, the call to be seen and step into a bigger version of yourself, and yet when you go to do that, there's something in your body that stops you. There's maybe some procrastination, or there's a thought about maybe I need to learn more before being seen. Well, my friend, this series is for you. I'm Yong Pratt, a movement and embodiment guide and founder of Illuminating You Productions. And the work that I do in my world is based in the body because I truly believe that in order for us to be visible, it is not a mindset game, it is a body game because our bodies hold stories. And in our work, we tap into those stories so that you can reclaim your voice and be as visible as you like and make that feeling joyful. And today I wanted to invite a special guest to join me because when I thought about visibility, there's so many ways in the world today to be visible. And Renee Koster is here to join us today, and she is a learning experience designer. She literally helps people take what they know and turn it into a course so that other people can be impacted positively by the things that they know. And it's such a beautiful gift. And I'm so honored to have you here today, Renee. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Renee, I would love to hear a little story because your background in getting to be a learning experience designer is a really unique one, and I would love to demonstrate and share with people how we can get to where we are going, even though the path is not straight for most of us. It is not, and your path definitely has taken some twists and turns to get here. So, would you mind sharing that?
Sure. Yeah. So, wow. I recently actually started reflecting on when I started at my teaching experiences, and it actually started like back in high school. I also have in a background in dance. And so in high school, I helped choreograph the middle school plays. And so I started my teaching at, teaching dance. And in college, I majored in anthropology and didn't really think about education. And then I had an amazing experience as on the archaeology crew and became a crew chief. So then it wasn't really teaching, or I didn't think of it as teaching at the time. But when I became a crew chief, I was managing a crew, but I was also demonstrating excavation techniques and teaching people how to plan excavations and do the reports and all of that. So I was still guiding. Um, and then that really drove my desire to learn more about archaeology. And I went to graduate school for archaeology, became a teacher's assistant, and then found myself with an adjunct instructor position for first year students. And I got to be their advisor as well as their instructor and be in the classroom with them. And it was a wonderful combination of getting to be like a mentor, but also a teacher, with them coming into my office and sharing their experiences and their challenges and helping them through it. And at that point, my husband got an opportunity for a position at a different university. And so we moved and we started a family. And so I stepped back and raised our kids. They're now both in school. And so I wanted to find something. I wanted to go back to work, but in a way that I could still be home and present for my family. And I tried out a couple of different things, and my husband was like, "Well, why don't you do instructional design?" And I said, "Well, what is that?" And I started researching it, and I said, "Oh, this is fantastic." And so I went back to school to get caught up on all of the new technology because the last time I had been in a classroom I still had a BlackBerry. So there was a huge, huge boom in technology. So I went back to school and got my certificate and started this business. And it's just been such a fantastic journey.
And I love it because I think when we all look back at our lives, there are these little clues that are left that we leave along the way that we never really give much credit to. About this idea of throughout your whole life, there's just been this teaching, guiding aspect. And
Yeah.
yet it wasn't something you immediately thought of when it was time for you to come back and do the work you do now. And I think that's just a reminder to all of us that if you take a moment just to think about your life and all the different paths you've taken, there's probably something or many somethings that come easily to you that you're discounting right now. And I think, Renee, that's where this conversation, I would love to take this because this is what you help people do. People have an idea for like, ooh, I know something about this. And there's all the mind chatter that comes in like, ooh, well, does anyone want to learn that? And I would love to know from you, like, what is the resistance your students might be facing when they come into your world and they say, yes, I want to teach something or I want to share something, and there's something stopping me.
Yeah. Um, a lot of times people know they want to share. They have something that they want to give to their audience, and the people especially the people I am drawn to work with, they they know they can make an impact, but they, like you said, there's a resistance, and sometimes it's that they don't know which idea to start with. What part of what I do can I teach, and is it worth teaching?
Hmm.
And so I help them, for those people, I help them work through that process. We brainstorm and we reflect and we think about the challenges their audience is currently facing, and what also feels aligned with them and where they are in their business. And we find where those two intersect, and that's what we build. And if there's,
Hmm.
a group of things, okay, which one is going to light you up the most to bring to life right now? Because we can store all of those other ideas and come back to them later. But I want, when people come to me, I want them to be able to see something all the way through. And if they're really lit up by an idea, if they're really excited about an idea, it's more likely that they're going to be able to see themselves through that whole process, especially when they come up with, mindset blocks or things that become difficult. If they're already excited about the project, those roadblocks are going to seem less daunting.
And I love that you said to do something that lights them up because tell me if you can relate, Renee. I know that I certainly have done this. Like you get really excited about something and then part of you panics like, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. And I couldn't possibly like be more joyful. Like that would be weird to be so joyful. And so this conversation and this series is really about this too, about really normalizing our experience of being in the world, of having this desire to create, and yet there is something holding you back. And Renee has just shared that a simple clue for you is following your joy, doing something that lights you up. And that is huge. And this is another layer I'm just going to bring in and sprinkle on. Renee and I are both projectors in the human design world. And so this idea of following the things and doing the things that light you up is really important for us in order to manage our energy to it and use it for our benefit rather than letting it draw us down because we don't always have a ton of energy in the world. However, when we follow our joy, that is when we can really seem to have boundless energy and create a lot of stuff really quickly. And yet, after that happens, we need to sort of rest and retreat. And we all need that as well. And Renee, last week when we were talking about going live and you coming into an experience I'm hosting next Saturday, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, you shared this beautiful story with me. Like when it comes to you being visible, I want to talk about how your body feels, because I'm really curious about people's experience, their lived experience, and what their body feels when they want to create a course or when they've done it and it comes to putting it out in the world and being able to then receive monetary gain by providing an amazing value in the world. Our bodies are really wise, and we are never taught to give them much credit or to pay much attention to them at all. Like in our world of logical linear science based practices, like our mind figures out everything. And in my world, I've learned that that's not true. Like the real wisdom lives in the body. So Renee, I would love to share how your body feels. So being here today, even, or when you first stepped into being a learning designer, or even putting out your first course, how did your body react to that next level of you?
Yeah. I feel all of the resistance in my gut. That's where it starts. So when it comes to, like, even right now, even I'm getting ready to relaunch my program because it runs, it's a cohort. So everybody starts and stops at the
Mhm.
same time. So I have to remarket it every so often. And every time it's like my gut clenches, and then the more I dwell on it, the more it weighs on me, like, my body just, like,
Mm.
collapses in
Mm.
on itself, and I become small and shrink, um, as opposed to, and I think we talked about this too, like, when I get past that, in that moment of freedom, it's, like, free and open, and my body, like, literally my back straightens and my shoulders come back and opens up. But when it comes to marketing and feeling visible, it often feels like my body just wants to collapse.
Ah, and it's such a beautiful image too, and it's so visceral. So if you're tuning in live, watching the replay, let us know below. Have you ever felt that experience when it comes time to being visible? It feels like you have something in your gut and your body just does this. Like I can see this happening, this curling in, this contraction on yourself. And I think I shared with you before that my husband has this beautiful wood carving. And it is a picture, it is a man doing just this. He's curled in all the way on himself, like in this little ball in the crisscross position. Right. And so when you share that story, like I immediately saw that image, and yeah, that's what so many of us do. And for some of us, it may not be as dramatic as that, yet the contraction piece is what I really want to dive into, because I think for many of us, we contract down because life has asked us over and over and over again, one, to ask for permission to do the things that we know we need to do, like go to the bathroom or get a drink of water during class, or to take time off if we need to do that. And also, this idea that our bodies are giving us clues. And because we've not been taught to listen, we kind of brush it off like, oh, I had kind of a stomach ache when I went to go do that. Or when I raised my hand and I got called on, I had a stomach ache before I actually did the thing. And so being able to take time to reflect on the sensations we feel, honoring them, acknowledging them, and knowing that some of these things that we're carrying and that we're living out may not even originate in us. Like the science shares with us that we carry in our bodies 7 generations of epigenes, meaning 7 generations of people through all of our lineage. There have been people who have been asked to suppress or repress who they are, to squash their dreams, and there are so many unlived dreams, so many unheard voices, and little fragments of all of those people live within us. And the best way for us to be able to honor our lineage is to use our voices more intentionally. And so the contraction we feel is a signal that maybe your body's not feeling safe in being seen. And again, it could belong to somebody else. And it's our privilege to be able to recognize that and then do something in our bodies to really expand that. So, Renee, are you game to playing around with me a little bit?
Sure.
All right. So I want us all, if you're watching, you can do this with me as well. And this is the kind of work that we do a lot in my world, about really starting to listen to the body and recognize when our body is in contraction. Because when we're in contraction, our focus narrows, and we're not able to be creative very much. We feel kind of stuck when we're contracted. So we have to practice a new way of being. So everyone, if you would just contract with me, let your head and your chin dip down, let your body get softer, and just you can even wrap yourself up in your arms and be really tight here. And I'm standing, so my back is kind of starting to curve. My tailbone is coming closer to my head. And just sit in this feeling for just a moment. And as you're thinking about being visible, whether that's using your voice, whether that's using your hands to create something, whether that is to create in any way that you like to create, just sit here for a moment and just notice what your mind does here. When you were in this position, take one more breath here. And now I want you to slowly uncurl your spine, open up your chest and arms. And if your shoulders feel ready to, you can put them out to the sides or even up and let your body take up more space. And just breathe here and sit with this feeling for just a moment. And I want you to feel the difference, one, in your body, what you feel when you're in this position versus the contracted position, and what your mind is now doing. And go ahead and let your body relax. Give yourself a little wiggle. And this is the kind of practice that we do when I invite people into my world, because when we want to be more visible, we have to prepare our bodies, our physical bodies, to forget all of that contraction and step into the expansion of us. So, Renee, I'm curious, when we were in this contracted state, where did your mind go?
It just like the questions, like the nagging feelings, the negative thought, they like the brain just started wheeling like that.
Hmm. Yes, and I think it's a very common experience that if we think about the ways we walk, sometimes we walk kind of like in this posture, hunched over a little bit. When we're sitting, we're kind of slouching in our chairs. And so if we think about what our bodies are doing and what Renee just shared, that her thought process was spiraling downward, collapsing in on itself, literally. And then what happened when we expanded our bodies? What happened in your mind?
It just started clearing. Like if those the downward spiral stopped, and it started to, it was leveling, I guess.
Hmm.
It came up and leveled and opened.
I love that, because that is exactly right. When we take up space, when we allow ourselves to be seen, even if we're the only person in the room, when we allow our body to be visible, even when no one's seeing us, like that practice is so beneficial to shifting what our mind is thinking, right? Again, I'm going to bring this back to, we've been conditioned to believe that our mind is here to answer questions, when in reality, our body actually holds the keys to unlocking what our mind is telling us, and to, in some cases, stop the spiral and allow ourselves to feel more present in our bodies. Thank you for sharing that, Renee. It was so beautiful. Just in that 30 seconds to a minute, it really didn't require a lot of effort or a lot of time. And yet our bodies, when we invite them to come play with us every day and we become aware of what they are feeling, especially if our mind starts looping, being able to do this simple practice can really shift how you see the world, the creativity, the capacity for creativity that is inside of you opens up as well. It's so beautiful. So, with all that being said, I wanted to let you all know that next Saturday, I'm hosting an experience called Unscripted, and I've asked Renee to come in and be my guest. She's gonna do the entire experience with us, and then at the end, she's gonna share with you an incredible opportunity that she's put together to help you if you've ever thought, oh, yeah, I kind of want to do a course, or I really want to do that. And, right, there's the and or the but in a lot of cases, right? Because many of the women that I work with tell me sort of quickly that they are interested in doing a course. They just don't know what to do it on or how to make it happen. And so they let those downward spirals kind of keep them where they are. And Renee actually has beautiful processes and ways to help you to find what it is that lights you up and brings you joy. And yeah, I'm so excited, Renee, to bring you into that space with me. And I wanted to share a little more about this experience because it is not a class. It is not a coaching session. It is literally a space where we get to enter what I call my playground. And it's called unscripted because in life, we've all been given these scripts, these roles, these costumes, these masks we're expected or obligated to wear. You know, the mask of the mom or the role of the caretaker, whatever it is. And it's so easy for us to get bogged down by the expectation and or feelings of obligation to make certain things unfold in certain ways that masks who we really are on the inside. So unscripted is a chance to put down those scripts, take off those costumes, take off those masks, and practice new ways of being because practice is really the key element here when it comes to visibility. We have to practice being visible. It is not a destination. Visibility is definitely not a destination. If you've ever heard someone say, oh, just be, just post more, show up more, do more lives, do more of this, and your body feels this crazy pressure, like, I couldn't possibly do that. It's because we have to practice allowing ourselves to be seen by others. And this happens in a group because when we are witnessed and held in spaces with other people who are traveling similar journeys, there's this beautiful magic, this beautiful synergy that happens where we all start feeling more ourselves, where we can feel like we can let our guard down and be safe. And we can practice being visible because what I want for all of you who are watching this is to invite you to step into greater visibility. So many of the people that I work with tell me it's hard to be visible. And so we're going to practice a different way. We're going to be playful. We're going to be joyful. We're going to follow our joy. We're going to follow our curiosity. And this month's theme is visibility as sacred practice. And if you would love to join Renee and I next Saturday, it's at 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's an hour and a half where we get to be in a space together. And then following the event, you and I get to hop in to a one-on-one session to really solidify and anchor in the shifts that happen in that hour and a half. It's all for you. If you would like to join us, you can just pop the word unscripted down below or give me an emoji. Just signal somehow that you would like to join, and I will reach out to you personally to invite you to be my guest, to be there, because I really do feel like this world right now needs more people stepping into visibility, raising their hands, answering the call to be seen, and feeling safe, feeling joyful, feeling confident in doing so, so that we can spread more lightness and love into this world that so desperately needs more of that right now. Renee, I want to thank you so much for being here, for sharing your experience with visibility, for being a beacon of light to guide women into helping them to create these courses so they can make the impact they are here to make. I am excited for you to join me next Saturday as well.
Thank you, Yong. This is I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, and again next Saturday.
Excellent, excellent. Yes. If you can't tell already, I'm super excited about this experience. And, I love inviting people into my world to experience different ways of being. And yes, I look forward to more continued conversations, more continued ways to move together in the world. And until I see you all again next Saturday, have the most amazing, amazing day. Get out there, move your body, and notice how your mood, how your brain shifts, even in the smallest little movements. Cheers.